Before I get started with this week's Encouraging Words video, I'd like to share my condolences for the victims and their families of the terror attack in Manchester, United Kingdom back on Monday. May God comfort and send His peace to you as you grieve for those who perished in this heinous act. I would also like to let those who are injured know that you have my thoughts and prayers as you recover from your injuries. Without further delay, let's get started with this week's video. This week, I actually have two verses that I would like to share with you. These verses are from the Gospels of Luke and Matthew. I will explain why these two passages are of great importance in a second. But first, let's look at the first passage. Luke 6:27 and 28. But I tell you, who hear me, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. Luke here records Jesus having said, pray for those who mistreat you. And this is an interesting way of quoting Jesus' remarks about those whom we should pray for. However, note that in Matthew it says something a bit different in the next passage. Matthew chapter 5, verses 43 through 45. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. Matthew here records Jesus having said, pray for those who persecute you. This too is an interesting way of quoting Jesus' remarks about the same topic. So why do we have two completely different quotes on the same topic? Well, in the first one, we must remember that he was talking to his disciples and standing on a flat surface. In the second one, we see that he was sitting on a mountainside when he is speaking. Thus may be easily inferred that these two conversations were somewhat unrelated, in that they were held on separate occasions, but are related by subject matter. In the wake of recent events, both here and abroad, I'm becoming even more convinced that the proper response to those who are mistreating or persecuting us is to pray for them. You want proof of this fact? Look to the events that have been happening, like the bombing of a concert back on Monday of this week, or the students who walked out of their graduation the moment that Vice President Mike Pence took to the stage in protest. Better yet, look above to see that Jesus himself asked us to do this to show his love and mercy. Those that we call our enemies are the very people that need the love of Jesus the most. Therefore, I challenge everyone who reads this post or watches this week's video to be praying for those who are persecuting the church abroad, and for the people that are mistreating us here at home. I also want to challenge everyone to show Jesus' love to your enemies this week. Until next week, have a good week, and I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.